Scott Scholes and Ty Edwards jumping this ball. Whitworth gets the opening jump. Nyquist with the ball at the top. Passes it back off to Edwards. Edwards with Scholes guarding him man-to-man. Edwards looking to pump fake. Edwards drives down the middle with Scholes on him. Blows the layup. Looks like it's knocked out of bounds, and it's still going to be Whitworth basketball. Billings knocked it out of bounds there, trying to recover it from the rebound. Whitworth basketball with 20 on the shot clock, folks. Nyquist is taking it out of bounds for them underneath the basket. Ball is inbounded. Floater down low. 3-4 different players fighting for that rebound as finally a foul is called on the third putback. 170-pound senior guard from Kirkland, Washington and Lake Washington High School. Nyquist goes 1 for 2 on the free throws, folks. Panthers getting their first real possession of the basketball game. Cruz Billings at the top. Off to senior Luke Farrington. Farrington across the way to Scholes. Scholes sets the screen, hands it back off to the star point guard. Billings tries to do step back, elbow, but loses momentum. The ball goes off the rim, and out of bounds it goes. It's going to be Whitworth ball, folks. Look to see Chapman applying some full court pressure early here. They've got full court man-to-man. Nyquist versus Billings, two of the key players to watch in this matchup. Edwards down the lane once again, this time guarded by Joe Keegan. Edwards is a 6'7", 220-pound senior out of Sumner, Washington and Sumner High School. Thus far this season, he's averaged 7.4 rebounds, folks, and just 4.6 points per game, averaging almost double the amount of rebounds that he does points. He knocks down both free throws. Billings with the ball now. Hand it off to Keegan, who comes up. They're doing a bit of a weave here. Billings drives it down the lane. His signature floater is short. Rebounded by Ty Edwards. Edwards guarded by the star Heberly. Oh, Heberly gets knocked by the screen right there. Doesn't matter. We're still playing basketball, folks. And the other four starters, Billings, Scholes, Keegan, and Farrington down in the right corner to get Heberly out of the. So on the court for Chapman, we've got Dylan Mansour and the other four starters, Billings, Scholes, Keegan, and Farrington down in the right corner. Three-man weave up the top. Farrington now has it. He pivots around, back up to Billings. Billings to Farrington. Farrington from three. It's going to be an automatic violation for hitting the shot clock and going above the backboard. It's going to be Whitworth ball out of bounds on the baseline. $17:53 to play in the first half. 5-0 currently. The Pirates are leading. Travel violation has been called at the top of the key. Charge to the team's leading scorer, Colton Looney. Looney's a 6'6" forward, 205 pounds, out of Vancouver, Washington, and Skyview. Billings now with the ball, looking to drive down the lane. Oh, and it's poked away. It's poked away by Nyquist. Whitworth's moving here, folks. Nyquist drives it down the lane. Keegan on him. He's off the mark. Oh, and a follow-up. And it's still missed. Looney now with the basketball driving down the lane. And Looney picks up the foul call as he tosses it. Panthers thus far, folks. And number 22, the sophomore Julian Gospich. Offensive rebound off the miss. God, so many offensive boards given up by the Panthers thus far, folks. Edwards guarded by Tittlefitz. Ball was poked away there on the pass. Oh, and they got the steal. Farrington finally secures it. Billings is going. Billings to Tittlefitz. Tittlefitz back to Billings as they toss it around looking for an opening. They want to take advantage of this one, folks. They're still not on the board. Mansour drives down the baseline. Nothing open. And it looked like he was trying to get it to Tittlefitz or to Farrington, but he threw the ball directly at the Whitworth bench. Black ball out of bounds on the sidelines. 6-0 with about 3 minutes into this first half, folks. Chapman is struggling to get anything going offensively. Nyquist with the ball, guarded by Billings at the top of the key. Switch occurs. Nyquist looking to take advantage of the mismatch. Tries to pass it off to his teammate. Feet from his own darn basket. Finally going to be Chapman basketball as Jackson Bernardo, the backup point guard, and senior, 6'2" from Temecula, California. Bernardo into the game for the first time tonight. Tittlefitz with the ball now at the top of the key. Passes off to Bernardo. Bernardo drives down the lane. More ball movement. Bernardo back with the ball now. Into the key he goes. Looking to get anything going. Gospich now with the ball. Right wing three is no good. Rebound was secured by Whitworth's Stephen Behil. Nyquist runs directly into Tittlefitz, who picks up the foul early. And just like that, folks, we're back in action. Out of the timeout, it's Whitworth ball. Edwards tried to do the through pass, and, well, timing was off. Ball's out of bounds. It's going to be Chapman basketball. 15:30 to play in the first half. Bernardo has it at the top, guarded by Nyquist. Bernardo drives down the lane on the left side. Three ball on the end by Tittlefitz, and it's off the mark, off the back rim. Rebounded by Edwards. Edwards up to Behil on the drive, and he picks up the foul. TJ Tittlefitz quickly in this game has picked up 2 personal fouls for Chapman. 5 fouls already for Chapman. They go into the 1-and-1, folks, when they hit 7 fouls in the first half alone. Stephen Behil now at the line, shooting 2. And he knocks down the first. Behil's a 6'7" wing out of Camas, Washington. He's a senior. Currently the team's leading scorer on the season, averaging 17.5 points, 6 rebounds, and just under 2.5 assists per game. He knocks down the second free throw. Chapman's struggling to get anything going offensively. Mansour now handling the ball, drives down the lane with the left hand, tries to shoot it with the right, and it's blocked. Julian Gospich follows immediately with the layup. Gospich with the rebound and layup, finally getting Chapman on the board 5 minutes into this game. Mansour now providing full court pressure on Edwards. Edwards against Mansour. Nyquist, screen and roll, tries to pass it off to Looney. Looney almost gets it out of bounds, knocks it off Gospich. So Whitworth maintains possession with 12 on the shot clock. Mansour will check out. Joe Jack checks in for Chapman. Jack guarding the ball out of bounds. Behil gets it at the top. Drives down the lane through 3 Chapman defenders. Misses it. But Caden Bateman on the putback. The transfer from Bozeman, Montana. 10-2. Chapman down currently, folks. Bernardo tries to go ring around the rosy down low and still misses the layup. Whitworth is playing fast. A little too fast, apparently. Colton Looney just got called for a travel down low, folks. Looks like Brian Caldera just checked into the game for Whitworth. Bernardo drives down the baseline. Pass it off to Heberly, who's short on the three-pointer from the wing. Behil yet again with the ball. Pull-up three right in the face of Julian Gospich. You cannot leave the leading scorer that open, folks. Behil averaging just under 18 a game. Already has 5 tonight. Alex Kim has also snuck into the game for the Panthers, the glue guy. Kim drives it, goes up for the layup through 2 Whitworth defenders, and it's off the mark. Caldera brings down the rebound for Whitworth. It was Nate Crone on the drive and the miss. Kim now with the ball at the baseline. Gospich shovel pass to Bernardo. Bernardo's going to drive down the lane yet again. Rather trapped. Gospich to Bernardo to Joe Jack, who checks in and scores the second bucket of the game for the Panthers. Whitworth has already seen enough, folks. It is 13 all night long. Nate Crone picks up the foul for Whitworth. Let's see if Heberly can finally get going from the free throw line here. He has been silent all night. And like I said, folks, Chapman goes as he goes. Oh, it looks like it's actually going to be a foul on the ground, folks. It's going to be a foul on the ground. Billings out of bounds. Hands it off to Mansour on the baseline. Mansour to set a screen for Heberly. Heberly gets another call just outside the three-point line. Once again, it's on Crone. You can see Crone visibly frustrated, picks up back-to-back fouls in under 10 seconds. Looks like him and Edwards have both switched on their defenders around. 13 on the shot clock. Billings drives, looks and finds Mansour for the open layup down low. Billings to Mansour. Dylan Mansour, a sophomore, transfer from the University of Washington where he walked on a season ago, folks. It's the best offensive play they've had all night. 9:30 to play in the first half. Caldera pump fake, decides to drive. Cross-court pass. Down low battle. Edwards ends up knocking it down over the outreached arms of Scholes. Heberly now driving down the lane. Looking to get anything going. Passes back out to Scholes. Scholes to Farrington. Farrington from downtown, and he knocks it down. Wow, the Panthers needed that one desperately. First made three of the night, Luke Farrington. The senior transfer knocks it down. Edwards now guarded by Scholes at the top of the three. Edwards rolls off a tough screen. Scholes loses him in the process. Looks like it was Caldera who knocked down that last one. Look down for 2 seconds, another turnover. Nate Crone with the steal and the drive, as well as the foul pickup there. Let's see who it's going to be charged to on Chapman. Foul was called on Chapman starting point guard Cruz Billings. It's the player's first personal. It's already a 6-team foul with 8 to play in the first half. It's going to be Whitworth ball out of bounds on the baseline. Stephen Behil strikes again from beyond the arc, the leading scorer in this game so far. He's got his team ahead by 17 points, 26-9. Chapman's down. Farrington knocks it down, though, on the other end off the pass from Heberly. Chapman's doing anything they can to get going offensively. Dylan Westenmeyer drives down the lane on Luke Farrington. Picks up the foul. 0 for 2. Mansour comes down with the rebound. Bernardo drives, kicks it back out to Mansour, who misses it from the right wing. As Lucas Meisner comes down with the rebound. Caldera now with it. Back over to Behil. Behil, the team's leading scorer, drives handily and scores on multiple Chapman defenders. Mansour drives, shoves it off to Gospich, who's off from the baseline 3. Behil now going up against Bernardo, and he picks up the carrying call. Pretty good defense right there by Bernardo, forcing Behil to kind of panic and pause just long enough to pick up the carrying call. It's going to be Chapman basketball on the sidelines. Looks like Joe Jack is checking back in for the Panthers. Mansour now commanding point guard duties for Chapman. Mansour drives down the left side. Pass baseline to Bernardo. Bernardo drives, looking back out, back to Mansour. Mansour drives. And he finds Gospich on the layup. I'm sorry, Joe Jack. He finds Joe Jack on the reverse layup. Good move right there by the University of Washington transfer. Caldera now with the ball, guarded by Bernardo. Caldera quickly to Stephen Behil, who gets the easy layup. God, Behil is just picking apart Chapman one possession at a time. And there was a miscommunication there. Heberly trying to pass it to Bernardo. And Heberly turns it over. Colton Looney with the easy layup. Almost dunk for Whitworth. Chapman looking to get back on track fast. Heberly, 0 points tonight so far. Drives down the lane, tries to do right-handed layup on the left side, and he's off the mark. 5.5 to play in the first half, folks. Looney. Pass it off right there to Whitworth's number 10, Caden Bateman. Bateman was off the mark. Ball eventually knocked out of bounds. We're going to do a bunch of subbing here on both sides. Still going to be Whitworth ball, 20 on the shot clock, down low. Caldera to Looney. Looney drives. Passes it off to Behil, who's finally missing one from beyond the arc on that right side. Mansour now moving fast. Pass off to Scholes. Scholes over to the far side for Gospich. It's off the mark. Joe Keegan tries to wrangle down the rebound, but he ends up committing a cheap offensive foul 93 feet from his own basket. Chapman already in the double bonus. Joe Keegan picks up his second personal foul. He fouled Brian Caldera. Caldera's now at the line, shoot the 1-and-1 from Whitworth. Caldera's a 6'3" graduate student from Spokane, Washington. Looks like he's also the backup point guard. Caldera misses the first and only free throw, the 1-and-1. Joe Jack gets the rebound. Billings to Keegan. Keegan to Jack. Billings rolls off Jack's screen and knocks down the 15-foot elbow jumper. See if Chapman can't build some momentum the last 4 of this first half. Caldera with Billings guarding him. Caldera tries to get it to Nyquist, but it goes out of bounds. DJ Tittlefitz back in the game, replacing Dylan Mansour for Chapman. On the court for the Panthers, we got Tittlefitz, Joe Jack, Scott Scholes, Joe Keegan, and Cruz Billings. Scholes, quick pump fake, back up to Tittlefitz. Tittlefitz to Billings off the screen. Billings and Tittlefitz going back and forth. Billings looking for any gap in the defense there. on the drive. He manages for child. He first started going to Chapman basketball camp in the summertime when he was only about 7 years old, and now he's a senior in college. He's been part of the program for basically his entire life. If he's, say, 21 right now, folks, first 7 years of his life he was ineligible. Well, he's been part of the program ever since. Just trying to lead this team to a comeback, knocks down both free throws. Placing full court pressure on Ben Freed. Stephen Behil now with the ball. Scholl's guarding him. Behil turnaround jumper falling away, and it's off the mark. Joe Keegan trying to go coast to coast here. That 6'6" frame, trying to treat him well. He's off the mark, but there's Alex Kim, the hustler, with the offensive board. Ball gets passed around. Gospich tried to dump it to Kim. Or Joe Jack tried to dump it to Kim, but commits the turnover. Looks like that was Ty Edwards who tried to drive it down. Haberle has been unbelievably quiet this first half for the Panthers. Let's see if he can't get going here. Billings rolls off the screen from Tittlefitz. Billings picked up his dribble. Going back and forth between Keegan and Scholes at the top of the three. Scholes shoves it off to Haberle. Haberle guarded by Edwards. Haberle with the step back J. Short once again. There comes 5'8" Cruz Billings with the offensive board. Tries to put it back up, but it's no good. Keegan then wrangles down the offensive rebound. Haberle goes pick and roll with Scott Scholes, who knocks down the layup and gets the foul call. Scholes is now at the line to complete the three-point play. Colton Looney committed the foul there. Looney's second personal 6-team foul. Scholes is unable to complete the three-point play. There's Caldera to wrangle down the rebound. Nyquist to Edwards. Edwards now with the ball. Driving on TJ Tittlefitz. Edwards with the rainbow turnaround layup, but it's off the mark. Keegan takes it. Almost makes it from the baseline three, but it's still off. Rebound wrangled down by Behil. Behil now with it, guarded by Scholes. Behil looking in. Gets it to Looney. Looney goes nowhere fast. Caldera now with it at the top of the three. He takes it and makes it over the outstretched arms of TJ Tittlefitz. Whitworth currently ahead 35-20. Tittlefitz drives, but it's easily taken away by Whitworth's number 14, Ben Freed. Freed runs down on the fast break, drives it, but misses the open layup. Rebound brought down by TJ Tittlefitz. Tittlefitz to Billings. Billings to Haberle. Haberle trying to get something going with that left side three, but he's still off. Ball's driven down the lane by Caldera, who blows the easy layup. Chapman trying to capitalize. Cruz Billings drives down the lane. He was looking for the foul call. He puts up the tough layup. Once again, hits rim, not net. Approaching 1 minute to play in the first half. Edwards had Haberle down low, and Haberle decides to tie him up rather than giving up the layup. It's Haberle's first personal 9th foul of the half for Chapman. Edwards misses the first one of the 1-and-1. Everybody got 1-and-1 on that one, folks. 1-and-1. That foul was on the ground. Mansour drives down the left lane, knocks down the hanging layup. No backboard needed on that one, folks. Chapman's cut the lead to 13. Under a minute to play. Freed with the ball at the top, guarded by Billings. Screen coming. Freed dumps it down low. Gospich is able to secure the block on Ty Edwards. Likely the final possession of the first half. We got Billings, Mansour, Julian Gospich, Jake Heberly, and Luke Farrington. Heberly goes up to screen for Billings. Screen's a bit of a fail. Billings drives it, kick out to Gospich, who airballs the three to end the quarter from who Chapman goes as they go. Billings to Scholes on top. Scholes back to Billings. Billings drives the baseline. Nothing going there. Back to Scholes. Scholes tries to drive it. Scholes back to Billings. Billings to Heberly. Heberly back to Billings. One-man band right now. Billings versus Behil. Billings to Heberly on the baseline, and he knocks down the giant three to finally get on the board. Jake Heberly was scoreless until just now. Puts a dent in that lead. It's down to 10. Edwards to Behil. Behil drives. Runs into nobody on the easy layup off the screen. Edwards with the assist there. Heberly over to Keegan in the corner. Keegan back up to Billings. Keegan tries to screen for Billings. Keegan now. Ends up in the hands of Heberly. Heberly who drives it. The free throw line here. He knocks down the first one. Graduate student from Spokane, Washington. Heberly knocks down the second one, and just like that, he's got 5 points on the board. He's trying to keep this game competitive. Caldera guarded by Heberly. Caldera off to Edwards. Edwards guarded by Keegan. Edwards shovel pass to the leading scorer. Edwards to Nyquist. Nyquist over to Caldera, who misses the three. But Behil gets the rebound and puts it back. Cruz Billings tries to get it back on the three-point line. It's off the mark. If I'm Dan Krikorian, I'm not super happy with that offensive possession right there. Got to get some movement going against this bigger, stronger Whitworth team. Edwards drives on Heberly. Edwards bully balls his way in for the easy layup. Heberly's complaining, saying that there should have been a call there. I can't say I agree with that one. Just like that, it's back to 14-point lead for Whitworth. Heberly drives it, trying to get it back. Puts up the awkward layup, and it's off the mark. Whitworth comes down with the huge, muscular rebound. Behil drives, barely misses it. It ends up in the hands of Joe Keegan. Keegan passed back to Farrington. Farrington back to Keegan. Keegan up to the top to Heberly. Heberly looks to drive it. Rolls off the screen. Joe Keegan comes back with the big three, and he's off the mark. Stephen Behil comes down with the rebound. Behil over to Caldera in the corner. Caldera to Nyquist. Nyquist back over to Behil. No hand up. Behil airballs it as it goes out of bounds. Looks like it was off the hands of Cruz Billings. Chapman has Dylan Mansour and Julian Gospich check back into the game. Julian Gospich is number 22. He's a sophomore. Mansour is also a sophomore at number 20. Whitworth ball now. Edwards gets trapped in the corner, makes the smart play to push it off the foot of Jake Heberly. Still Whitworth ball, 16 on the shot clock. Looks like Chapman's trying to turn up their man-to-man defense. Too many easy points for Whitworth in that first half, folks. Edwards with Gospich on him. Edwards bully balls his way in to the right-handed layup on the right side across the key. It was like Gospich wasn't even there. Right as I say, they're trying to turn up the heat defensively. Oh, the ball was almost stolen right there. Billings to Heberly, though. Heberly, if that's not the story of the night for Jake Heberly, folks, an air ball from the three-point line. If you've been following this team all year, you have not seen a game like this once from poor Jake Heberly. Feels like Whitworth's game plan was just come in and force anybody else besides Heberly to beat us from this Chapman squad, and it's working so far. Behil over to Nyquist. Nyquist with the wing three-pointer, and he knocks it down. All of a sudden, it's back up to a 19-point lead for Whitworth. It was down to as low as 10, and now it's back up to 19. Joe Keegan's going to get called for the offensive foul where he was trying to screen Cruz Billings for that open three. Pushed a little too hard on that one. Joe Keegan, just a sophomore. He's the youngest starter in this starting lineup. Funny enough, he's actually an old family friend of mine. I've known him since he was about 18 inches tall. He's now 6'6", and he towers over everybody, even in his own family. Keegan's still young, has these moments where he becomes the aggressor a bit too much. Committed a foul in the first half, 93 feet from his own basket, that pushed him into the 1-and-1 bonus, and had another hard foul there on the screen. Whitworth ball, 16.5 to play in the second half. Caldera with it. Drives. Beautiful pick and roll play there to Caden Bateman. Bateman unable to finish. Heavily now with it. Off to Billings on the baseline. Billings drives down the middle. Billings out to Mansour. Shoots the three, but it's off the back rim. Ty Edwards comes down with the rebound. Bedenfried. Over to Edwards. Edwards to Caldera on that left wing. Caldera looking to drive Mansour, trying to cut off that lane. Forces a really bad pass by Caldera. Joe Jack gets the steal and goes way off on the layup. Looks like he was trying to get the foul call there. In transition, Freed with the three, off the mark. Freed comes right back and gets the steal, though. A lazy pass if you're Chapman. And Freed gets the easy layup. Just like that, it's a 21-point game. Points, Chapman with the basketball. Mansour with it at the top. Heberly almost sets a screen, then rolls away. Heberly now with the ball. Heberly and Mansour going back and forth. Not very good spacing there. Mansour drives, kick out to Heberly, who knocks down the huge three on the left wing. That was a tough shot. You can see Jake Heberly trying to get back involved with this offense. As Freed tried to drive it down the lane, but it was blocked. Bernardo gets possession back to Chapman. And right out of the timeout. Welcome back into the Hutton Sports Center. Currently an 18-point game. Whitworth Pirates just controlling every single aspect of this game. Whitworth currently shooting 42.9% from the field. Chapman shooting just 28% from the field. Another day, another easy layup for Ty Edwards. Chapman now down 20. Heberly with the ball at the top of the key. Drives down the lane, stops, pops, and knocks down the mid-range J on Nyquist. You can tell assistant coach Kyle Milligan wants the energy. He feels the energy. He wants his players to feel it too. Stephen Behil. Turnaround jumper off the mark. And another steal by Ben Nyquist. Nyquist pulls up to shoot the three. It's off. Nobody around to rebound for Chapman. Stephen Behil scoops it up and puts it back in. Another possession, another sloppy turnover, easily avoidable for Chapman. Heavily now with it, drives down the lane, straight on Behil. Tries to finish through contact. He'll go to the line for two shots. Heavily at the line, shooting two. Welcome back into the Hutton Sports Center. Chapman applying full court pressure. Bernardo guarding Whitworth's number 3, Nate Crone, man-to-man. Billings is on Caldera. Tittlefitz guarding Caden Bateman. Bateman backing down Tittlefitz, turns around, easily jumps over the senior/graduate student TJ Tittlefitz for two as he falls away from the basket. Kim driving down the lane, and it's poked away once again by Ben Nyquist. Nyquist goes coast to coast and makes it look easy. 2 giant steps to get into that key by Nyquist. Billings with the step back 3. He's knocked down and he knocks it down in the Cruz Billings. Chapman showing a lot more life in the second half. Billings with 1 and he knocks it down. Big 4-point play right there by the senior point guard out of Santa Ana. Jackson Bernardo will check out of this game. Dylan Mansour replacing him. Mansour on Nyquist, who just picked up that foul. My apologies. Caldera picked up that last foul. Nyquist over to Crone. Crone tries to get it inside, but it's stolen away by Jack. Kim sets the screen for Billings. Billings to Tittlefitz. Tittlefitz back to Billings. Over to Jack on the left wing. Jack tries to set the screen. Billings trying to take advantage of that. And he's stuck in the middle. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Billings knows it, shoots it from long range, and it airballs. It's going to be Whitworth basketball. It was really good defense right there if you're Whitworth. Really strong defense on that one to force a falling away 3-pointer that ends up completely out of bounds. No chance even of a putback. Chapman will bring their starters back in. Joined by Dylan Mansour. Heberly back in. Scott Scholes back in. Dylan Mansour. Number 2, Cruz Billings. Number 4, Scott Scholes. Mansour on Nyquist with the ball. Then Nyquist is stopped short. Passes out to Caldera, guarded by Billings. Caldera to Weissenmeyer. Weissenmeyer out to a wide open Freed, who turns around and gets the steal. My apologies, that was Crone. Crone turns around, gets the steal. Crone misses the layup, but trailing behind quickly was Caldera. Cruz Billings goes around and up, avoiding the taller, longer defenders like it's the plague, and he knocks down the tough layup with his opposite hand. Nyquist now at the top, guarded by Heberly. Nyquist finds the screen, threads the needle, and knocks down the layup with the dominant hand on the offside, right over the outstretched arms of Scott Scholes. Billings over to Kim. Kim back to Billings. Billings to Mansour on the top of the key. Mansour looking, rolls off the screen. Mansour, turnaround J in the middle of the key. It rims off. With the rebound by Weissenmeyer. Nyquist over to Weissenmeyer. Weissenmeyer to Crone. Crone to Edwards. Crone. Edwards back over to Nyquist in the corner, who Chapman women's basketball player. Nothing speaks more volumes than speaks character, let me tell you, folks. Had the pleasure of working with her over the last year here at Chapman. Whitworth now with it. 8:20 to go in this second half. Weissenmeyer drives down the lane, turn around, and knocks it down. Falling away from the hoop. He's just longer, he's stronger, he's quicker. That's been the story of this game. As Billings tries to thread the needle, getting it to Scholes down low. But Whitworth's hands are just too quick, folks. Currently a 19-point game. Chapman is simply outmatched in almost every major capacity tonight. Ball's into Heberly, who bully balls his way to the layup, and he misses it. Easy layup Heberly would normally make 20 out of 21 times. On the 21st time, he misses it. Just under 8 to play in this one. Caldera with the 3 on the baseline. Over the outstretched arms of Mansour, and he knocks it down. Cruz Billings from the top of the key. Just outside, 3. The little end. It's going to be Whitworth basketball coming out of the timeout. Still guarding full court. Got Caldera and Edwards in the backcourt. Edwards over to Behil. Behil guarded by Schultz. Behil driving down the lane. Falling away, and he gets the bucket through contact. Behil is feeling it in every capacity tonight. He's the team's leading scorer, folks. He averages 17.5 per game. Scott Schultz picks up the foul. That's only their second foul of the second half. That's a massive improvement for them from one half to another. Chapman had 9 fouls with 4 minutes to play in the first half. They've got 2 so far tonight. Scott Schultz just picked up his second. Stephen Behil at the line shooting 1. Behil currently right on target with 18 already. Still 7 to play. Make that 19 for him. Whitworth currently leads against Chapman by 22, 70-48. Billings over to Heberly. Heberly finally knocks it down from the right wing. Jake Heberly has finally come back to life in the second half. But it feels like it's too little too late. He's got 12 on the night. All in the second half. Chapman down 19, 6:40 to play. Edwards looking on. Keegan gives him a taste of probably about 7-foot wingspan. Nyquist guarded by Gospich. Nyquist blows Gospich away. Shoot the layup on that far side. Billings threads the needle to get it to Jack, who knocks down the reverse layup on the right side. Good move there by Joe Jack. Good eyes by the point guard, Cruz Billings. Behil gets it off the inbound. Gives it to that long, lanky point guard, Ben Nyquist. Nyquist stands at 6'3", 170 pounds. Nyquist guarded by Heberly. Rolls off the screen. Nyquist down the lane and knocks down the easy layup on the left side with the right hand. Folks, you notice a lot of times tonight he's only used his right hand on layups. Joe Jack drives, gives it to a streaking Joe Keegan, who picks up so far. Poor Chapman, he's got 0 points tonight. See if he can. Whitworth, Pirate. Can hear his assistant coaches saying, rebound the basketball. TJ Tittlefitz and Jackson Bernardo will check back in, replacing Cruz Billings and Julian Gospich. Bernardo's really found a home there, backing up Billings as point guard. TJ Tittlefitz, one of the glue guys, one of the hustlers. Speaking of hustle, Jackson Bernardo manages to force a turnover on Whitworth's number 14, Ben Freed. Great defense there, man-to-man, matching up by Chapman. One thing you'll notice about Krikorian's defense, they never stop. They never take their gas off the pedal. Bernardo out to Keegan, who knocks down the big left wing 3. Joe Keegan finally coming to life after 35 minutes of play. Trapping down low. Whitworth is able to break it. Ben Nyquist will look to reset the offense. 5:10 to play. Nyquist guarded by Jackson Bernardo. Edwards comes up. Screens and goes down. Nyquist over to Behil. Behil step back 3. And it's short. And yet another offensive board down by Ben Nyquist. Nyquist, good eyes and hands there. Chapman just totally out of position on their defensive rebounding tonight. Whitworth has now scored 25 points off turnovers and probably another 15 at least on offensive boards. If you're Chapman, all I'm focusing on tomorrow in practice is defensive rebounding and not turning over the basketball. Transition defense, too. Ball shoved down low to Edwards. who it looks like it either got blocked or he passed it off to Nyquist, who finishes another easy layup down low. 4 to play. Whitworth currently leading by 20. Tittlefit's looking for one of his guards. Can tell he probably doesn't like handling the ball much. Heberly at the step back 3, way off the mark. Looks like it was almost an air ball. Maybe it just grazed the rim. Freed with that rebound. Off to Nyquist. 42-1. Whitworth in total control of this game now with the 22-point lead. 3:45 to play. Looks like Chapman has officially emptied out their bench. We got some new faces actually in the team. We've got Daniel Kojacaro on deck with the ball. Kevin Benson, the freshman, joined by Dylan Mansour, who streaks down the lane and manages to knock down the right-handed floater. They're joined by Jamison Fox, freshman forward out of Phoenix, Arizona from Arcadia High School. So we got Fox, number 33, Benson, number 15. As Fox blocks Ty Edwards. Mansour drives down the lane, and he's blocked right back. As Behil's the one who comes up with it. Whitworth in total control, now controlling the ball. They're telling Mansour to start pressuring. Force Nyquist to work. Nyquist over to Freed, who misses. Freshman Kevin Benson now brings it up. Benson over to Kojacaro. Kojacaro with the step back layup, and he makes it. Daniel Kojacaro, sophomore guard out of Danville, California. He's from the Bay Area. 6'3" point guard, brand new to this program. Whitworth still got a lot of their starters in. Nyquist over to Behil. Behil to the far side over to Freed. It was almost stolen there by Mansour. Long 3 taken by Edwards, but it's off the front rim. Joe Jack now with the ball. Joe Jack, super lazy pass over to Kojacaro. Ben Freed with the bucket and the basket.